Hey guys, welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival. My name is Spanj, and today I'm going to take you through a little bit of a closer look at the logistics system in Empyrion Alpha 9. I'm here in my single player game that I was in the last episode. If you remember, I've got my little mule here, which is my essentially my new backpack system. And I've set up just over here with these three portable constructors again. Now I'm mining and refining a lot more iron because I'm able to carry a lot more in the mule than I was my backpack. But what is my next objective is it's a base. It's a base I built. Again, it's the small warehouse base, and I'm not sure how this is going to work out. So I'm not going to publish this one to the workshop just yet because I'm still kind of experimenting. But I wanted to bring this in order to show you the new logistics system, and especially how you're going to be able to build using the logistics system going forward. Okay, so I'm just going to go and mine enough resources to bring this in. It shouldn't take too long, except maybe that 3 cobalt, which I suspect is the cannon turret on top. I'm not sure. That might be a little bit more difficult to get. The plastic I've already got. Plastic is easy. The reason I got plastic in the mule is because if you're anywhere near a swamp biome, which was all the way around this where I landed, so pretty much around any water, you'll have some swampy biomes. There was wheat plants everywhere. So if you're close enough to one of them, you can get a lot of plastic very quickly. So I'm using plastic in all my builds at the moment. We got some wood, that's easy to do. Copper, silicon, stone dust, and iron. Iron is very much on the way at the moment, so that should be good. So that shouldn't take me too long, but I'm going to bring this in and we're going to go from there. Okay, so I'm ready to spawn in my little warehouse. I'm going to make sure the solar panels are south-facing here. You can actually rotate blueprints now. They get some weird artifacts though. As you can see, I've got some random blocks floating all over the shop. They'll disappear when I spawn it in, but let's make sure those solar panels are facing south. I'm just going to lower it into the ground slightly as well. It doesn't need to be that high up. That should be okay right there. Let's spawn that in. Okay, so this is my small warehouse. There's nothing special. In fact, I don't think it'll even power up at the moment because the sun's about to set, or has just set. It's kind of on the borderline of getting power, as you can see. It shouldn't take a lot of power up. There's nothing really to it, but we do have 320,000 litres of storage in both of these storage controllers here. You'll notice that I'm looking at these blocks that look like this. Let me just turn my torch on a second. Not these ones. Okay, these are the container extensions, as you can see in the tooltip at the top. They're container extensions. Now to access those, you need a container controller. So only one controller per grouping of extensions, right? So, for example, this block here is actually just plastic, because I've got 2 controllers here. I've got a controller for ammo and a regular controller. Now they need to be separated by something. So this plastic block here is actually a fake container. It's in the same texture as everything else, but is just plastic, and that separates this controller from those extensions. In fact, if I pop over this one, those container extensions are not joined because they are diagonal to each other. So they do not interact. So these 2 here are connected to this controller, which means that this controller has 24,000 storage capacity for ammunition, should I want to add ammunition to the base. But the rest of these containers are all linked to this one because they're connected to one and other, and ultimately this controller here. So when you're building it, and I'm gonna cheat now. Let me just hit up my mule, put everything in there. 1 second. So put everything in here, then I know the empty inventory. Okay, so let me bring up the item menu a second. I'm going to demonstrate. Base. We want 1 container controller to many container extensions, okay? So you start with the controller. You place that wherever you want to be able to interface directly with the storage. You then place your extenders onto that in order to increase its capacity. Okay, so we can see that is now 40,000. Now if I take away, let me just grab a multi-tool. Now if I take away these containers, so they're no longer connected, that now only has 8,000. That's your base. For a base or CV, 8,000 litres is the base storage. Now if I connect these back up again, that should now shoot back up to 40,000. And the more container extensions I add, the more volume I get. And that's it. That's as simple as that. And you can change the shape of these if you want, and fill funny gaps with them. But the more extenders, the more volume you have. Okay, so that is Extenders 101. Now then, cheating aside, if I wanted to extend this base and build it out a little bit more, because I've managed to get the resources that I need in order to build it up, and I've got the storage now, which is great, but I haven't got any production facilities, for example. So what I need to do is I need to access all the blocks and stuff that I've got stored in the base so that I can build with them. So if I hit F4 to enter logistics, I can change this drop down here that's currently set to my hover vessel to the small warehouse, which also has a Wi-Fi connector. So I can now access the blocks connected to it. Now, if I hit this connection button, I'm connecting my virtual toolbar, or my connected toolbar, whatever you want to call it, to the small warehouse and the objects within. So I can now grab these objects, put them on my toolbar as if they were in my own backpack. I can come out of this, hit F5, and using my drone as normal, I can now build straight off of this base, and I can build a new production facility if I so please. Build some walls. And you can put a large constructor in there. Build some walls around it. Hopefully you'll get the idea now. Won't look as pretty as the small warehouse, but it wasn't in creative mode, so you know it's going to be a box. It's going to be a box, but you know, you can see that this is just the same as if you were in Alpha 8. Instead of working out your own inventory, you're just working out of this virtual one, and I can put a door on that later, and also I can put some more solar panels on this thing in order to beef it up and give it an extra bit of power that it's going to need to run that constructor. And so on and so forth. So a little bit of truss blocks here that I managed to build as well. Give these solar panels a bit of support. Continue that kind of industrial haphazard look. And I can give it some shaping and stuff later on. But there you go. That is how you build using the logistics. You don't use your inventory. You use the virtual toolbar, the virtual, or whatever you want to call it, the connected toolbar. They call it the virtual one in the patch, in the game notes. So we'll stick with that. But there we go. Once you get that kind of mass storage of the of a warehouse type building, that's 320,000 liters in early game, which, you know, this thing doesn't cost a lot. Your storage woes are going to be over for a long time. And now with that constructor in place, I should be able to hit F4 again, and I can see all the containers, the 2 containers that I've got and the ammo container. You should be able to actually, sorry, I went in the wrong thing. Go into the P menu, or go to the constructor itself, access the constructor. You can then select an input and an output controller. So if I had anything in this input here, because at the moment it's in my virtual toolbar, so if I go back into logistics and disconnect that toolbar, those items return, go back into the constructor, there they are now. So actually what I'll probably do is select this one as the input and that one as the output, because these are completed blocks. I'd have my raw materials in there, and as I build stuff, it will come the resources to build them will come out of this one. The completed product will go into that one. Oh boy, we got some drones incoming. I've only got one cannon turret on this thing, so I hope that's enough to deal with the first wave. We shall see. Anyway, I hope that gives you a little bit of a better and more fuller view of logistics. It's all about these drop downs and these ones, and this button here is absolutely vital if you want to be able to use any of the really big stuff that's in there. So I know that a lot of you were worried that you wouldn't be able to actually place things like thrusters onto CVs. You will, as long as you use this connected thing here. Hit that little button down there to set it to your virtual toolbar, and then you can drag items into your toolbar, and as long as you stay within Wi-Fi range, and Wi-Fi range is quite far, and bear in mind you've got your drone as well, so I'm still connected. I'll probably lose connection any second now. You're about to leave. It gives you a little warning as well. I'm 117 meters away. It gives you a little warning, and there you go, I've disconnected. And the items should go head back in. So now I've got Wi-Fi signal again. Oh, I'm not quite close enough. There we go, small warehouse. The items should return to the box. So there we go. So you should be able to build absolutely fine. It's just a slightly different way of doing it. And as of Tuesday, I believe, this week, Elion have decreased the amount of volume that ore and ingots take up in your inventory, how much volume they take up. So hopefully that should make it a little bit easier as well to store some of the early game stuff. That's logistics, and that's how you build in Alpha 9 as well. I hope you found that useful. Let me know in the comments how you're dealing with Alpha 9, what you think so far. It'd be really great to get your feedback and your point of view on this. I actually think that it's going to be a good thing for the game, ultimately. It still needs some work. But I'm looking forward to all the different designs and things that will come out of this logistics system. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'll catch you guys next time. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.